Hey folks, it's Jake with Ninja Fit. We had some students recently that, as we were approaching a belt test, which we do every few months or so, they hadn't put the time in and the effort into practice outside of coming to class, and so they weren't prepared, right? They didn't earn the proper recommendations to be ready to test, or one of them even got to the testing but wasn't in the right headset that day, and didn't pass. So when that happens, I like to try, and I'm sure there's tons of things on the parent side of things that you guys would tell your kids, and I'd be kind of interested in hearing some of those pointers and all that in the comment section. If you'd like to let me know what kinds of things you tell your kids when either something fails the first time, but you don't want them to quit on it because you can see the benefit of continuing on long term with whatever it is they're doing, or maybe they don't have the choice, right? They fail one math test, but that doesn't mean math class is done. We still got to keep going. We got to try to learn as best we can to get through the semester and keep and preparing for the next level of math that comes next, right? So for my students, I'd like to try to remind you that anything worth getting is worth putting the work and time in. So I may sound a little bit biased, and no matter what level, what subject I'm teaching, I've taught music classes before, I've taught private lessons for music, I've taught martial arts, all sorts of things, and no matter what subject I teach, I'm passionate about it because it's important to me. That's why I teach it. So I want those students that are studying that from me, of course, to put the time in and try to get as impassioned about it as I do. But I know not everybody can do that, right? So don't get yourself down if this cycle you just weren't in that right headset. But also don't let yourself give up, right? If you wanted to get to, if black belt is your goal, I want to get at least the first degree black belt, and then I want to see how the world opens up for me beyond that, and see what second and third degree look like, to see if that's something I want to go do, or just to see what I can become in that process getting to black belt, right? Then don't give up if you didn't get it the first time. Everybody progresses at different rates, right? Just because you didn't get past this time, or you didn't get to test even this time, that doesn't mean you're going back to white belt and you're going back levels. No, it means you're still at this level and you still got to finish learning this amount of curriculum to show me that you're ready to get up to the next level. So show the perseverance and the indomitable spirit, the things we talk about in class, to prove to me and to prove to yourself, to prove to your parents, if you're one of my child's students, that you can do it and you're not going to give up and quit for it. You see the value in this. Maybe that's a conversation you can either have with me or with your parents, right? Try to remind yourself why you got into this. What is it you want to get out of these lessons, right? Maybe start the next cycle as we come back from this week off after testing. Start yourself and try to remind yourself, and I'll have these conversations with the kids in class too, but it might be good for parents to have this conversation at home with them. Remind yourself every cycle, what's our why? Why are we doing this? And maybe that why has changed. When you first got into it, I wanted little Timmy to build confidence, and that's definitely worked. But now we're having some other issues somewhere else. He's lacking motivation in this or whatever it is, right? So now my why is I want him to get this out of it. I want him to accept responsibility for what he's agreed to do, and I want him to see this through. I want him to learn what perseverance is and what hard work and dedication is. So think about those things, right? When a student starts with me, I need to start having these conversations and making it really clear to the parent and to the students, to the kids and all that. This is a partnership we're entering into, right? It's not going to be where I just do all the work for you, and just because you show up to class means all of a sudden one day you get a black belt. No, you're going to have to put in work because everybody's different. Everybody's body's different. They move differently and all that stuff. So I'll work on things with you in class, but you got to go home and you got to teach your body what it means to move this way and how to do these things and all that stuff. And the repetition is what gives you the comfort and added confidence later on, and for us to be able to build up on things, right? You don't just start day one as a beginner doing jump, spin, flip kicks in the air, right? You work your way up to that. You got to learn how to just do a standing front kick. Boom, boom, boom. Leg going right to the front. Something simple first, and then we build up on it. Then we add better balance. Then we add jumps to it. Then we add jumps and spins and things like that. So it's a partnership we're working to build here, and I need the parents' help. I need the kids' help. If you're one of my adult students, I understand work and life get in the way too, right? So that happens sometimes, but don't get down about it. We'll keep working on it together. I'll do my part when you come to class to watch you and give you pointers and suggest things that might work for you. But then you got to go home and put that time and effort into figuring that out on your own and how that works for you and what that means to you. And then you'll come back hopefully with more specific questions. Okay, I tried this and it didn't work, or it felt really, really weird or something like that. And that's how we build this relationship as we're working up toward whatever it is your goal is, black belt or third degree black belt or super master, ninja of the world or something. Whatever it is, we'll grow in this process together, but it's going to take some give and take from both of us. So something to keep in mind as we go through future cycles. I know this will happen. I've been teaching for so long. It happens all the time with students and all that stuff. I just got to remind them. I got to remind myself. Of course, as a teacher, I try to look at that from my perspective. Then, okay, what can I do better to help them out? What can I do differently this next cycle? I use every testing cycle as a chance to kind of revamp my brain and think, okay, how can I approach this differently this cycle? What do I need to think about for these individual students here, for everybody, at all these different levels? So I'm always working on trying to improve. Please, I ask the students, try to work on trying to, don't just guarantee that I'm going to be able to do it all for you, because that's not what's going to happen. One day, if you ever need to use these moves to protect yourself or your family, I'm not going to be able to be there to jump and step in. You're going to need to know how and when and why to use these moves. So this is something to think about and something to consider. I hope this helps you maybe start a conversation with your kid. If you're one of my students or your kid's enrolled anywhere else and this ever happens to them, please just show them this quick video and maybe this will spark a conversation with them. I hope it works for you. Hope to see you in class soon. Thanks.